Hey guys, welcome to IBK where we talk about cars and tech. Today I wanted to go about the tips, the settings, and some cool things about this TV. Now a lot of you guys saw my first video and that was great, but I didn't really go in depth because I was going to make this video. So that's what this one is for. And I just want to first start off with some things that you have to do before you use this TV. And maybe like when you already get this TV, you didn't mess with that setting, but you watch this, you can go ahead and change those settings so that it's optimal. And for you who are in the fence of getting this TV or looking to get it in the future, this is something to remember when you get this TV, all right? So, well, first of all, we'll go to settings, which is right here. So if you press this cogwheel right here, then you can get to settings. And then you go down here, all settings. And this is the most basic first thing you should do when you get this TV, all right? So you go to energy saving and you'll have this TV usually set to auto when you buy it, but you want to scratch that. Like, you don't want this TV to have energy saving going on automatically, although it sounds good. These days, the TV, especially this being the OLED TV, it doesn't use that much energy. Like, it won't really cost your electricity too much. So don't worry about it too much. So what you want to do is put this to off immediately and make sure that it's always off. That way you don't have any performance issues. Like, if you have it on auto, basically this TV can do other things, and just because it's on auto and it's time to save energy, it might lower the performance or it might not make it optimal. So that's something to keep in mind. All right. Next thing you can do is screen off. This is a little bit different. Like, if you're watching, if you're listening to music, for example, then you can have this go on. So this will turn off the TV, and whenever you press any button on the remote, it'll turn the screen back on. So like, if you're listening to audio and you actually want to hear just the sound coming from your TV, you can use that function, which is pretty cool. So that's what screen off is. Next, what we can do is go to additional settings, and we'll go to eye comfort mode. This one, you don't want it, again, to do automatic color, temperature, for anything. Like, you don't want auto anything for this. So leave this off. If it's grayed out like that, it's off. And that's what you want. And we'll go to the next one, HDMI Ultra HD Deep Color. Now, as you guys know, all these TVs have HDMI input, and there's like 4 of them. You can plug it in any one of them, and once you do, it automatically detects which one is connected. So I have HDMI 3 connected, and this one is connected to my Chromecast. So I set this to on. I do want deep color. All right, so that's the next thing you got to do. Now you exit out of there. Okay, we'll go to instant game response. Now this one also, if you are a gamer and you have this for your Xbox or PlayStation, definitely want to turn this on. So you go here, you press HDMI 3, which is mine, and then you enable it. It should automatically detect which one is your game, but if it hasn't, just make sure that you use it for the gaming one and you set it to on. I use it for Chromecast, so to be honest, I don't really need to use this, but it doesn't hurt anything, so I have it on. Okay. Last but not least, you know this is a gaming monitor. It's great for it, so why not? You want to set this AMD FreeSync Premium on. And this one right here, this was like I don't think this existed before the update, but we have this now, so I set this one to on as well. So later on, when I do get a gaming console, I could take advantage of that. All right. Now, last but not least, let's talk about filmmaker mode. This one right here is a little bit different, meaning that this is a future project that a lot of directors want to go with their film. I believe Christopher Nolan is part of this project. And basically what this is sometimes directors want us to see the TV in their own intended way. Like, they don't want it to be us calibrating how we should watch it. They want us to kind of just watch the way that they want it to be. And this right here automatically detects whenever there's a filmmaker mode. So in the cases that I've seen filmmaker mode work, everything turns darker, things are more yellow, but at the same time, you know, it's what the director wants us to see. And some people in the comments in my previous video said, hey, how do you know when a movie is on filmmaker? And I said, You can go online and check, but it might be too much of a hassle. So this is what you do. You set this to enabled and automatically it'll know if this movie is filmmaker mode. And it's easy as that. And I've seen it turn on automatically sometimes. The cool thing is you can get out of that menu and you can go to different setting, so you don't have to use it, but it's good to have on and something that you can appreciate in a dark room. All right. All right, now here's a quick look. If you go to General and go to AI Service, this is all your AI. And there's AI Picture Pro, AI Brightness Control. I set this one to off, okay? You don't need this. Like, you don't need LG to learn because you're gonna set your TV and calibrate it the way you want. So I set all of these to off, brightness control off, auto genre selection off. I only keep the AI Sound Pro on. All right, so that's one thing that you can do. AI acoustic tuning, I like to have a little bit more treble so I can hear voices better. So instead of using clear voice, I use AI Sound Pro and I use a treble boost. That way I can hear dialogue very clearly. So that's a little tip there too. All right, so there you go for your AI settings. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is pointer options. You see this pointer that goes around the TV. You want this to be small, in my opinion. So you go to additional settings, you go to pointer options, and you set this to small. All right. And then you don't want it too big. And then the standby light, I turn it off. There's this red light that comes out on the TV. I don't like that usually because this TV is in the bedroom, so I keep that off. And that way you can turn it off. So those are the basic things that you should do when you get this TV. Definitely want to have that setting done. Now let's talk about this Sound Pro, right? So a lot of the time people say you should have this off, you don't need AI sound. I really like AI Sound Pro, so I have this on. I think that it sounds better. And what you do is you kind of calibrate it with your remote. This remote has a mic, and with the mic, it tells you, like, it listens to the sound emitting from your TV, and it says, hey, I think this TV sounds better this way. And it kind of pinpoints that sound and response and gives you the AI Sound Pro. So I personally like it. I keep it on. But for all the other stuff, when it comes to AI, like all the picture quality AI, I turn that stuff off. Like, I don't need any other AI coming in. All right, now for sound, I have Dolby Atmos on. That's definitely a plus for this TV. I recommend you turning that on. And again, AI Sound Pro is what I have it to. If you have an external speaker, great. If not, then you can use this TV. And the sound on this TV is it's good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's good. I was gonna buy an external speaker, but I decided I didn't need to right now. So I did not. But I think for most people, this should be enough, especially if you have it in your bedroom. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and go in depth on some of the settings. All right. So as you guys know, there's so many settings on this and picture modes, and we can't go through all of them. But I thought I'd go over the most important one, which is the ISF Expert Bright Room, in my opinion. Now, I use this for most of my movies, unless it has Dolby that auto detects. So I go here and I go to picture mode settings, and this is what I use for my TV. And this is, I think, a good base point. I want to hear what you guys use, but for me, this is what works for me. So the OLED light, the higher this is, the brighter the screen is going to be. But to be honest, I don't need it too bright. So I keep it to about 80 to 85. Right now I have it set at 82. Okay, contrast, as you guys know, if you put it at 100, it's going to be significantly deeper contrast, meaning the blacks are going to be blacker and the whites are going to be much whiter and brighter. And I don't need that either. So I set this at 89, which is kind of high. But this is a bright room versus there is a dark room expert mode. I like to keep this at 89 just because my room does get bright sometimes. I can change it to about 80 if I want to when it's too bright. But currently set to 89. Brightness, everybody tells you to put it at 50. 50 is great. It doesn't make the panel bright or anything. It makes things more gray. So I do believe 50 is a good number. I set it to 51. In my little testings, I just find 51, 52 to be a little bit brighter, and I like brighter screens, by the way, for my taste, instead of just plain old 50. So I keep it at 51. All right, sharpness, also edge sharpness. I like images that look crispy. If it's not crispy, then a lot of people put this at 0. They don't want any crispiness. But if you look at this example right here, then it shows you, like right here, it's a little bit blurry and this one's more crisp. I rather have a little bit more crisp when it comes to HD, so I keep this as 5. I move it from 5 onwards. So if you go here, there's so many values you can do, right? So 5 is really nothing. You can have it at 20. I think anything above 10 is a little bit too much. So I keep that at 5. Let's put it right there. Okay. Color, again, 59 for me. The clearer the color becomes, if it's close to 100, I don't want the color to be crazy saturated like an LCD TV. So I keep this at 59, which is a little bit above average. And tint, 0. I don't really need it. Put everything in 0. Now we go to advanced controls. Dynamic contrast off. Super resolution off. Wide gamut, wide. Color gamut, sorry, wide. Gamma to 2.2. I like this color tone. If you use 1.9, it's a little bit more bluer. So you can see, I'm sure you can see the differences, right? Even in this screen. So I like 2.2, which makes it a little bit warmer. This one is just too much contrast for me. Okay, so I leave it there. White balance, we're not going to get in this too much, but if you need it, you can set it to warm 2. Now this makes everything more yellow, and it takes some time to get used to. If you don't like that, you go to warm 1, but there is a huge difference between warm 2 and warm 1. And warm 3 is just, it's too yellow for me. It's like no usage. But if you like skin tones to look more clear, then warm 2 might be where you want to go. If you like more colder pictures, warm 1. So we'll go with warm 2 on this one. Method, 2 points. Not really important. Point, low. There's only 2, you don't need it. Red, green, blue, I leave it all at 0. All right. Color management system, again, this one I leave it as itself. Just reset if you changed it. I think it looks great the way it came. And peak brightness, I usually do low or medium, just because, like I said, see, it doesn't really change so much the image quality, but it makes blacks gray, and I don't like that too much, so I keep it at low. Now this is the bright room one, so I do not turn it off. I just keep it at low. So that's something that it's up to you, but I think low is a good peak brightness for this TV. And yeah, that's it. That's how I keep my ISF. So now let's go to, oh, what's that? Oh, sorry about that, guys. And now we go to the last one, which is picture options. So that's under advanced controls for ISF. And this is what I have set to: noise reduction off. I don't need it. MPEG noise reduction, I don't need it. This is just coming straight from the internet right now, all the apps, so I don't need that. Smooth gradation off. If you like the soapbox opera, you can have it to low. I rather just view it the way it's intended. Black level, auto, you can't do off on that. And then motion eye care also off. This is all just adjusting brightness. So this kind of does another energy consumption thing that I told you to turn off from the beginning. So don't worry about that. And then true motion user. Okay, now this is where a lot of people can go to user, and they put, usually the popular one is de-judder at 0 and de-blur at 10. That's up to you. If you like that kind of smoothness, I just like to keep everything off. Okay, I like to keep this off. So I don't need that soapbox opera effect on mine. Okay, so that's it. We covered everything for Expert Brightroom, and for about, I'd say about 80% of your viewing pleasure of movies, this is going to be enough. You don't really need to work on it too much, because the other ones like the filmmaker mode and the Dolby, those are going to be totally different, and not all movies have that option. Like if you watch a movie from Netflix, for example, then it's going to use this. When you watch something like The Mandalorian from Disney Plus, it's going to switch to Dolby. So you guys have to choose which one you want to use 70% of the time, and I choose this one. All right. Whenever you get this TV, what you want to do is go to software update and make sure that you have the latest version. I don't keep mine on allow automatic updates because I want to know when I'm updating. So I just keep it there, and then this automatically checks for updates and tells me if I'm in the latest version or not. All right, so there you go. When you get this TV, first thing out of the box, make sure to update your software. There's been a lot of changes. Well, I hope that helps. If you guys have other settings that works for you for the standard or the ISF bright settings, I want to know about it. So leave it in the comments below, and we could probably share this knowledge. That's the intention of this video, is to share the knowledge and see what's a better setting. I also want to know what setting you guys use for Dolby Cinema. I always seem to feel like that one is a little bit more tougher to set up. So if you guys have any tips on that, leave it in the comments below. All right. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you haven't. I try to get you guys detailed videos like this. So, oh yeah, wait a minute. One more thing before I go. All right, so I don't know if you guys know this, but you can hard press these numbers here and set it to like HDMI and like Disney Plus. So like, you know how these remote doesn't have Disney Plus, right? But if you press this right here, like that, I have it set to Disney Plus automatically. So press the number. Like for example, 1 right now is HDMI for me, but if I wanted to use 2, then I would press 4. Like for example, I would press this, and it would say HDMI 3 is already added to quick access number 1. So it's telling me it's already preset there. So that's what you would do. If you didn't preset it, you would press a number that you want to preset to, and then it would add it there. All right. But let's say that you guys want to change it. Like you don't want 1 to be HDMI 3, then you press this right here, 0, and then that screen pops up and you can throw away the other one and reset it. So that's really handy. Cool tip if you didn't know, but that's how you quickly get access to all your apps as fast as you can by pressing your remote. All right. Hope that helps, guys. All right. So here's another interesting thing about this TV. All right. So let's say that you want to change the setting. All right. So let's go to 9 right here. And this brings up a really cool thing called optimization setting, right? And what this does is it says, look, it's inspecting what's image, what's the HDMI on, and then it tells you, look, you're currently on the ISF Expert Brightroom, and this is what you have, but we recommend standard. And this might be correct sometimes. Like, why would you have your ISF Expert if you're not watching a movie? So then it says, all right, switch to standard. So basically what you do in that case is you go and then you see that optimization part, it's highlighted red, and you press that, and then it switches from Expert Brightroom to standard. So now it says change to the recommended setting value has been completed. So that's another cool thing that you can do with this TV. I don't know if you guys know that one, but there's a lot of other things it can do, like self-diagnosis. And this one right here, screen is dark. You can kind of do this. It's like a wizard. And you can say the screen doesn't look full, or the picture movement at the time of watching is unnatural. Then it'll go ahead and try to change things for you. So true motion, natural is off. And then it'll give you a way to do it. So this has so much cool support. I can't hear the voice clearly, for example, and it tells you to change it to clear voice, change the setting again, and I think this really helps. So something that if you didn't know, it's another way to check your TV. And like here, you could check the status of the TV. You could check the OLED panel, check the magic remote, your Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. All these things can do a self-diagnosis. And this is important. Like if you guys have any issue with your TV, press number 9 on your TV, like long press it, and then you'll get to this menu and you can change everything. Illumination sensor, if you use this for your bright room, also use this. So this is something cool. And all of these, make sure that your TV is working fine. All right. Remote services, you can connect to these guys. I won't do that right now. I don't have any problems with the TV. But that's a little tip, and just in case you didn't know. All right, guys. Well, that wraps it up for all of the things I want to show you. I know it's quite a bit, but thank you guys for watching all the way here. But more than that, I just want to like talk about it more in the comments below. What settings do you have? Any cool tips that you got? And if you have better numbers than me for setting up the TV, like the brightness, contrast, I'd like to hear about that too. You know, I mean, like this is something that I want to share and just see what things we can learn from each other. So that's what the main purpose of this video was. And hopefully if you have more questions, you can ask me, but all of this was helpful. And thank you guys for sticking around. If you have other questions, if you want me to make another video, let me know and I'll do that as well. But other than that, man, it's been a long video, probably the longest one yet. But as always, you guys are awesome. Bye-bye.